This has been a crazy year so far, and it's been crazy in a lot of different ways. Maybe you're feeling behind right now. Maybe you're feeling the pressure of life, and whether it's the relationships, the job, maybe you're just feeling lost in life. Maybe you're feeling like you have such a big load on you, and maybe you're around my age. I'm 33 right now. Maybe you're a little bit younger in your early 30s. Maybe you're getting close to 30. Maybe it's 34, 35. I don't know. But if you're somewhere around the age of 33, you need to listen up today. I want you to pay attention to this because this has been one of the most profound years. And I couldn't imagine a year ago that I would be exactly where I am today. But if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. I'm dropping a new video every single day to try to help you guys as much as possible. But let's dive into it. So, 33 years old. This is the Jesus year. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, 33 was the age that Jesus was when he fulfilled his mission here on earth with humanity. He was 33 years old. And obviously leading up to that point, a couple years before, he was taking a lot of hate. He was, really going through the ringer. And this isn't about religion necessarily. I'm not a hardcore religious person, but I believe in Jesus and what he did here on this earth because there's a lot of historical evidence about the New Testament. But anyway, this is a powerful year, 33 years old. So let me just rewind the clock back to about a year and a half or so ago. It was October of 2023, and I had hit rock bottom. My savings was dwindling. I was going broke. I didn't have a job. I had moved back in with my parents and put all my stuff in storage. And I lived back at home for about 9 months, but I actually watched this movie called The Passion of the Christ, and it came out a long time ago. And I don't know why I watched it. I was just watching it on my phone. I felt something call me and tell me to watch it. So I just watched it. And I got super emotional. And especially during the whipping and the crucifixion and all that, just seeing this guy, and of course it's an actor in the movie, but just seeing this guy Jesus, this man, what he went through. And he was 33 years old, and he went through, literally hell. And I got super emotional, and I felt like I needed to get closer to God. Basically, I had gone to church my whole life. I pushed religion away, was disconnected from it because I always attached my relationship to God with religion, and I was church hurt. I had seen a lot of people who said that they were Christians, and I didn't really feel like they were living in alignment, right? They're not really, well, you're saying this, but you're living your life like that, So I started to ask God to guide me. I was lost. I was depressed. I was broke. I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. And I guess at this time I was around the age of 32, and I really didn't know what to do. I had applied to probably 400 jobs over the period of from October all the way through middle of March, March of 2024. And I was so discouraged. I had started drinking. I was hooked on the vape. I was hooked on porn. I was waking up late. I was very depressed. I even had suicidal thoughts rolling into the new year. And, over time, I prayed for God to take certain things away from me. And one by one, he started to release me from them. And praying to God is it's like having a relationship with a person in the sense of you can't just go to God when things are tough, right? That's what we want to do, just when things are bad. But you have to go to God always, in the good times, when things are going well, and when things are, going to shit, so to speak. And one by one, as I was asking for all these things every single day, I had faith that he would provide me a job, that he would help me overcome porn, that he would take the vaping addiction away, that he would help me with my alcohol use, that he would pull me out of depression, all these things. And one by one, over time, and just trusting the process, God pulled me out of these things. And I look at about a year ago, where I was a year ago, and I'm in a completely different place now. I was in a massive credit card debt, like $12,000. And I just was not in a good position at all a year ago. But it was about a year ago that God told me to do YouTube. And it was kind of a slow process for me to get started. I was overthinking everything, which has really held me back in my life, is not fully committing to one thing and overthinking, right? So God had told me, and what's God? The voice of God, your intuition. That's the authentic voice of God. And so I was open to receiving the insights from God, from the universe, to light my path. And if you're lost right now, I encourage you to ask God to just light your path, and be diligent with the prayer, and be open to receiving the signs and clues around you to point you in the right direction. And so he told me to start YouTube, and I thought, YouTube is a great vehicle because I can share my stories to connect with you guys, but it's also fun for me, and it's relatively easy to do. And that's how I created the Ascended Man, which is helping you forge strength, elevate your spirit, and lead with purpose. It's all about evolving mind, body, and spirit to become a well-rounded man, the evolved man, the ascended man. It's really forging armor for life to prepare you for the battles of life. And that's what this channel is all about. From relationships and dating to female nature to, confidence and leadership and purpose and motivation and, even some health and fitness stuff, because I was a certified personal trainer for a while. But about a year ago is when God told me to start YouTube, and I did. And it was kind of tough starting out. It was actually really tough. I wasn't very good on camera. I needed to work on my communication and my speech and just being able to articulate my thoughts in a clear manner on camera and still be engaging. And just trying to figure out the direction I wanted to go, the ideas. But it started to come together piece by piece. And I look at now, it was about a year ago, and I really started getting consistent with YouTube at, I would say, the beginning of the year. And ever since that happened, things started to come together piece by piece. Actually, just a little over a month ago, I connected with one of my buddies. He's a good friend of mine now, but he's up in Canada. He has quite a big YouTube channel. Shout out to my boy, Joel. Terry Joel Jr. is his YouTube channel, so definitely check it out. But I basically saw that this guy was doing really well. I saw that he offered consultations that you could pay for. So I think I paid him like $100 for an hour call. And we ended up staying on the phone for 2 hours. Next thing I know, we're talking every day, building a bond. And I see this man being a lifelong brother. And God put him in my path to also not only be a friend, but also a mentor as well. And he's really helped me a lot with YouTube. And my point in saying all this is, a year ago, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was 32 years old. And God showed me my purpose. He showed me my light. And the symbolism of 33 is the Jesus year. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not saying on Jesus' level. I'm not claiming any of that, guys. Jesus is goated. But Jesus fulfilled his mission at 33. It's seen as a sacred age of purpose and completion, okay? And for modern guys like myself and you, a lot of the times it often marks a spiritual awakening. It's less chasing, less forcing, and it's more flow and alignment. And you begin to question your deeper why. Why am I here on this earth? And this could happen a little bit before, maybe a little bit after, but somewhere around there. And that's the significance of 33. And that's what life is all about, is finding your deeper why, your purpose, your mission for the greater good of humanity, of mankind. It's about figuring out what your gifts are, honing in on those, and giving those gifts to the world through something. It could be anything. It could be any kind of job or skill set or content creator, building a business. It could be through charity. You could be getting paid for it, and you could also not be getting paid for it. It doesn't really matter, but it's really your purpose. And the number one thing that makes men depressed in life is if they don't have direction. They don't have a purpose and a mission in life. Then they just start drifting through life. And this was me for certain periods of my life. And like I said, even just as early as about a year ago. But I trusted the process. And, you know, I'm single. I've been single for a while. I haven't had a girlfriend in about 8.5 years. Now, some of that by choice, some relationships I wish had worked out, but they didn't. And, you know, it is what it is. That's life. But I've also really been pouring into my own personal development. So making sure that I'm filling my cup up with love first for myself, and I'm really on the path that I'm actually doing exactly what I want to be doing in life, that I know who I am, what I want, and where I'm headed. And knowing exactly what I'm looking for in a woman and a future wife one day. And I've even just recently, the last few months, just started getting back out into dating a little bit because I work from home. It's not really super easy to meet higher quality women. It's probably not going to be at a bar or a club. I don't really do that kind of stuff anymore. Maybe fitness classes, group events through friends, but it's been tough. It's been really tough. And the dating apps suck. I mean, I got back into using some of the dating apps like Facebook Dating, Bumble, Hinge. Tinder's trash. I deleted that right away. Hinge is okay. It's kind of hit or miss. Bumble is pretty bad. Facebook Dating is trash. I mean, the dating apps suck, man. They suck. And so understand, though, that right now, just trust the process. If you're single at 33, man, just understand that it's a gift. It's not a curse. You just need to step into your purpose and start building a life that you can be proud of. But my other point is, like for me, my old self had to die. I had to kill my old self to evolve into this new person. And that was having a foundation with God, putting God as a foundation, having a relationship with God to lead me and to guide me in every single thing. And a lot of the addictions and issues and darkness that I was going through before, I couldn't do it on my own. I realized that I wasn't strong enough to do life on my own. The divine, the higher power, infinite intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same thing. And you were meant to be here on this earth for a reason. You just have to figure out what that reason is. And it takes time. It takes, blocking out the external noise, being in your thoughts, going for a long walk with nothing in your ears but just your thoughts, being in solitude, and journaling is helpful as well. But around this time frame, you really have to kill your old version of you to evolve into the man that you were always meant to be. And it's a process. But I'm putting this video out just really a few days before Easter. I usually schedule my videos out. So right now, it's technically Thursday, April 17th. And it'll be Easter in 3 days. And the significance of Easter is it represents the death and resurrection. And at 33, many men go through an internal death. And that's what I'm talking about here. It's letting go of the boy. It's letting go of the old you and shedding everything that's not serving you. The people pleaser, the external chaser, the external validation, chasing things that truly aren't making you feel fulfilled. And you really stop living for approval and start living with purpose. So understand that if you're going through a tough time trying to figure it out, ask God to guide you. This is your resurrection season right now, man. Where the man you're always meant to be starts leading. But also understand too, if you're in your 30s and you're still lost, you got to understand that's normal. You should. That means if you're lost, that means what you're doing right now isn't aligning with your soul's true purpose and what you are meant to do on this earth. Take it as a signal, a sign to do some introspection and start figuring that out. If you still feel lost right now, understand your breakthrough is just around the corner. And your Jesus year, it's not just a number, it's a call to rise, and it's a call to lead. It's a call to walk in alignment. And look, I'm not perfect. Again, I'm not saying I'm Jesus. You guys don't be in the comments, you're not, you think you're Jesus. It's not that. I'm not saying I'm God or any of that. But it is interesting. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in June. And this has been a crazy year for me. It's been a year of purpose. And while I'm not where I want to be, I can see it. I can visualize it and I feel it. And I know I'm in a flow right now. It feels so much easier to do this. And that's why I know that this is it, man. And when you find something, right, that just lights you on fire, where you know that I can do this in a sustainable way over the long term, that's when you know, man, you've got to be in a flow, and it takes time. And even if you start that thing that you kind of want to do, or something that you're thinking about doing, you know, that hobby, that business, whatever it is, whatever you feel like, that tug, the calling, listen to it, man. And you may not be good at first. Most people aren't, but it takes practice and it takes reps, and it takes trusting the process and asking God to guide you every step of the way. But you have to let go of the past, and you have to step into your purpose, man. This is your time. So, thought that was cool. Wanted to share with you guys. Actually, this morning, the reason I made this video is because this morning I had a very emotional time, and I was talking to one of my clients that I coach. Is a girl that lives in a different country, and she's absolutely incredible, and she's had quite an amazing transformation so far. And I was trading voice messages with her because she was talking about Kabbalah, and I said, wow, this is crazy. 33 is actually the year that Jesus was when he fulfilled his mission on here as man. He was 33 and I'm 33. And this year is when God told me at the beginning of a year ago, shortly before I turned 33, to start YouTube. And this year is when I started getting consistent and taking YouTube seriously. And it hit me, and I got really emotional and started crying. So this is my time right now. This is your time. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you're going through right now. I'm curious on your thoughts. Again, this is not some religious video. It's just my perspective, okay? And I would love to hear your thoughts. I read and respond to every single comment because I really care about you guys. But hope the video helped, man. And I'll catch you guys later.